Have you ever wondered if the new colleague at work, the friend you just reconnected with, or even someone at a work event might secretly like you? In this video, we're breaking down the subtle yet unmistakable signs that a woman is instantly into you. Some signs are easy to recognize, while others are so understated you could miss them completely. Don't overlook sign 4. It's a quiet move that speaks volumes. And sign 10. It's the ultimate confirmation that leaves no doubt. Let's get started with one of the most telling signs that's both playful and intentional. 1. The game of rapo. When she's interested, one of the most common signs is what's known as the tease and withdraw dynamic. It's subtle but powerful. She locks eyes with you for just long enough to spark curiosity, then quickly looks away, as if the moment never happened. But here's the catch. She'll repeat it. Maybe this time she pairs the glance with a playful smile, then looks away again, leaving you wondering if it's intentional or just a coincidence. Spoiler, it's no accident. This back and forth isn't random. It's a way of testing your confidence and persistence, seeing if you'll rise to the moment. It's playful, intentional, and let's be honest, a little addictive. Imagine this at a reunion. You're catching up with an old friend, and in the middle of a laugh, she leans in just slightly, brushes your arm, and then suddenly shifts back, as if creating space. It's that fleeting withdrawal that makes the earlier connection feel even more significant. Or in the workplace, a new colleague shares a light-hearted comment during a meeting, her tone warm and engaging, but follows it with a sudden focus on her laptop. She's leaving breadcrumbs, testing if you'll follow. And if you think rapo keeps you on your toes, wait until you hear about the next sign, a clever tactic that uses competition to reveal interest. 2. Lets you and him fight. This one is subtle, yet deeply strategic. When a woman is interested but unsure of how you'll react, she might create a little friendly competition to gauge your investment. It works like this. She engages two people in conversation, offering slightly more attention to one while throwing glances or playful remarks at the other. Think of it as her way of observing who steps up. She might laugh just a bit harder at someone else's joke while sneaking a glance at you to see if you notice. Or she'll casually lean toward one person but keep her body slightly angled toward you, sending mixed signals on purpose. At a social gathering, this could play out with a stranger who's chatting with your group. She compliments one person's style, but catches your eye as she says it, silently inviting you into the exchange. In the workplace, a colleague might ask for ideas during a meeting, subtly favoring someone else's suggestion, but keep circling back to your input, seeing if you'll assert yourself. This tactic isn't about creating conflict, it's about assessing who's willing to stand out. Speaking of standing out, the next sign is all about subtle, deliberate gestures designed to pull your focus. 3. Stalking game. Here's a move you've probably seen but never thought twice about: adjusting a bracelet, toying with a necklace, or subtly fixing a shoe. These small, deliberate gestures are designed to draw your attention to her physical presence. She's not fidgeting for no reason. She's signaling self-awareness, quietly inviting you to notice her. Imagine an old friend at a reunion brushing her hair back repeatedly during your conversation, or a stranger at a cafe adjusting her earrings, her movements slow and purposeful, especially when she knows you're watching. At work, a colleague might play with her pen or lightly touch her collar as she explains an idea, her body language framing her in a way that keeps your focus on her. These gestures are so subtle that they might seem insignificant, but when combined with other cues, like eye contact or a warm smile, they're anything but random. And speaking of body language, let's talk about how these micro movements amplify attraction. 4. Body language. Amplifications in games body language is one of the clearest ways to tell if she's interested, because it's almost impossible to fake. When someone's drawn to you, their body gives them away. Watch how she shifts from relaxed to alert the moment you enter the room. Does she suddenly sit up straighter, turn her body toward you? These subtle changes are her subconscious way of showing interest. For example, if you lean forward during a conversation, she might unconsciously mirror you. If you cross your arms, she might adjust her posture to match yours. This kind of mirroring is deeply instinctual and creates an unspoken sense of connection. At a party, you might notice someone across the room, turning her torso toward you, even while talking to someone else. Or at work, a colleague who started off facing her laptop slowly angles her chair toward you as the discussion deepens. These aren't just random shifts, they're signs she's fully engaged with you. Now, if body language is all about physical presence, the next sign takes it to another level, showing how positioning and proximity can create opportunities for connection. 5. Non-verbal maneuvering. When she's interested, she doesn't just rely on conversation or gestures, she uses positioning to draw you in. Non-verbal maneuvering is all about creating opportunities for interaction without making it obvious. For example, she might accidentally end up sitting next to you at a group dinner or casually linger near your table during a break. These moves are intentional yet subtle. She's not going to announce her interest outright, but she will make sure she's in your orbit. At a reunion, she might laugh a little louder at a shared memory or lean closer when the group conversation turns to something personal. In the office, she might shift her seat in a meeting, aligning her chair with yours to increase the chance of shared glances. The beauty of this sign is its plausible deniability. She's creating proximity and intimacy in a way that feels natural, yet the intention behind it is crystal clear. What comes next takes things to another level. Watch how the dynamics of your interaction start to shift in ways you might not expect. 6. Transactional cues in social games. One of the clearest signs she's interested is how the dynamics of your interactions subtly shift. Maybe she starts as a quiet listener, but before you know it, she's challenging your ideas or teasing you with a mock-serious tone. This isn't just playful banter. It's a way to deepen the connection and test how you handle a little friendly friction. Picture this. During a conversation at work, she lightly critiques your suggestion, but follows it up with a warm smile or laugh, letting you know it's all in good fun. Or at a party, she jokingly accuses you of being trouble, locking eyes to see how you'll respond. This kind of verbal play isn't random. It's deliberate, designed to create a sense of intrigue and shared energy between you. And here's the thing, when a woman starts shifting roles, from passive to playful to even slightly challenging, she's actively trying to draw you in. It's a dynamic that invites you to step up and engage on a deeper level. If this feels like a game of give and take, just wait. Up next, we'll talk about a whole new level of subtlety, how she signals openness without even saying a word. 7. Social sorting mechanisms. Have you ever noticed her eyes meeting yours across a room, not just once but multiple times? That's not a coincidence, it's intentional. When someone's interested, their gaze finds you, lingers just a fraction longer than it should, and repeats. The message is clear. I see you. But it's not just about eye contact. Watch how she interacts physically with her surroundings. Maybe she starts with crossed arms or holding something in front of her, a drink, a bag, even a notebook. These are natural barriers people use to feel secure. Now pay attention when those barriers disappear. If she sets down her drink or uncrosses her arms as she engages with you, she's signaling openness and comfort. Picture this. You're at a reunion, catching up with an old friend. At first, she's holding her coffee cup close, but as the conversation gets more personal, she places it aside and leans in. Or maybe it's a new colleague in a meeting. Initially, she's sitting with her laptop as a buffer, but by the end of your chat, she's shifted it aside and turned fully toward you. These changes might seem small, but they speak volumes. She's removing the invisible walls between you, letting you know that she's comfortable and that she's paying attention. Now, let's take this a step further. What happens when she combines these actions into a full-on display of attraction? It's time to talk about clusters of gestures that reveal more than words ever could. 8. Dynamic games in attraction scenarios. Here's where things get fascinating. Attraction often shows itself in clusters of gestures, not just single actions. Imagine she's holding your gaze a little too long, then tilts her head slightly, exposing her neck, a subconscious signal of vulnerability and openness. Or maybe she pairs a playful, lingering smile with a quick adjustment of her hair, adding layers of complexity to her message. It's not just one thing, it's a sequence. Eye contact, a slight lean toward you, a small laugh, and then pulling back ever so slightly. This is the dance of attraction. The push and pull creates tension, curiosity, and a natural rhythm that draws you in. Think about a party you've attended. Someone across the room keeps catching your eye, then shifts her posture to angle slightly toward you, even while talking to someone else. Or in the office, a coworker leans in as you speak, nodding in agreement, only to pull back playfully with a teasing comment. These clusters of gestures are her way of saying, "I'm intrigued." Are you? If this sounds deliberate, that's because it is, whether or not she realizes it. The way these cues build on each other creates a magnetic pull that's hard to ignore. Speaking of attraction, there's another game people play, but this one's all about how well you handle the back and forth of conversation. Let's dive into it. 9. The use of "why don't you, yes but." This game is deceptively simple, yet incredibly telling. It starts with her asking for your advice. "What do you think I should do about this?" But the moment you offer a suggestion, she counters it with a playful, "Yeah, but that wouldn't work because..." The back and forth might feel like a test, and in a way it is. She's not looking for the perfect solution. She's seeing how you handle disagreement, whether you can keep up with her intellectually, and if you're willing to engage in a little verbal sparring. Picture this happening during a casual coffee chat with a colleague. She brings up a challenge at work and asks for your opinion, but as soon as you offer a solution, she smiles and pokes holes in it. Or at a dinner gathering, she starts a playful debate over something trivial, like the best way to cook pasta, just to see how you react. It's not about being right or wrong. It's about the energy you bring to the exchange. If you handle it with confidence and humor, she's likely to see you as someone worth engaging with further. But what happens when she takes a completely different approach? Sometimes it's not about words at all. It's about actions that appear clumsy, but carry an intentional undertone. Let's explore that next. Zehnter Schlemiel. At first glance, this one might seem like pure clumsiness. She drops her purse, spills her drink, or knocks over her napkin. But here's the twist. It's often deliberate, a subtle way of testing your response. If you immediately step in to help, she's learning something about your patience, warmth, and attentiveness. If you laugh it off, you're showing that you're approachable and unbothered by little accidents. But if you seem annoyed or dismissive, she might take it as a sign to pull back. Imagine you're at a dinner with friends, and she accidentally tips her glass over, glancing at you as she scrambles to clean it up. Or at work, she repeatedly drops her pen during a conversation, laughing softly as you pick it up for her. These small mishaps aren't as accidental as they seem. They're cues to see how you'll react. And there you have it. These subtle games and gestures aren't just random behaviors. They're deliberate signals of interest. Pay attention, connect the dots, and you'll start seeing the truth in every interaction. think I missed a sign, or maybe you don't believe these are legit. Drop your thoughts in the comments, and while you're at it, hit like if you're ready to stop missing the signals right in front of you.